took a turn no one could have predicted. Betrayals, business battles, and shocking decisions that shook the family to its core. Tune in to uncover the truth that left everyone speechless. The rise of Detroit's pawn empire, Les Gold's story, isn't just about a man making it big in the pawn business. It's a roller coaster of unexpected twists, betrayals, and shocking decisions that changed everything. From the very beginning, Les wasn't just some random kid with a dream. He was built for business. As a child, he was already selling goods in his grandfather's shop, before most kids even understood the value of a dollar. By the time he was a teenager, he had developed the instincts of a seasoned dealer, always looking for an angle, always closing deals. But just when he thought he had mastered the game, one deal would shake the foundation of everything he had built. In 1978, he founded American Jewelry and Loan in a shopping center on 8 Mile Road. Yes, the same 8 Mile that became famous for its gritty reputation. You think I'm not taking this seriously? I think you're taking it as a joke. You want me to show you how professionals really work? Take this damn box and follow me, this one right here. Detroit wasn't the easiest place to run a pawn shop, but Les thrived on the challenge. He had an instinct for knowing what people needed and how to turn it into profit. By the early 1990s, he was no longer running a small store. He had expanded into a massive 50,000 square foot facility, a former bowling alley. Business was booming. Customers poured in, and the Gold name became synonymous with pawnbrokering on a national level. His family wasn't just watching from the sidelines. His wife Lily had been with him from the start, and their children, Seth and Ashley, became deeply involved in the operation. Seth, with a head for marketing, brought fresh ideas and modernized the store's advertising strategy. No more relying on traditional newspaper ads or outdated listings. This was about positioning the business in the modern world. Ashley, armed with a degree in business and a certification in diamond grading, became a critical player, ensuring the jewelry department was not only profitable but also well managed. The business was a true family affair, though that didn't mean things were always peaceful. Television executives soon took notice. In 2009, a former producer from a notorious daytime talk show approached Les with an idea: turn American Jewelry and Loan into a reality TV series. The concept was simple: bring cameras into the shop and show the daily dealings of a high-volume pawn business. The show, titled Hardcore Pawn, premiered at the end of the year and instantly became a sensation, provided an unfiltered look into the intense negotiations, bizarre transactions, and volatile customers that came through the shop every day. Unlike other shows that focused on rare artifacts or historical pieces, this was about real people, real struggles, and real money. We've taken alligators, we've taken Bentleys, we've taken 5-carat diamond rings, we've taken big watches, we've taken jewelry of all kinds. With every item comes a story. There are 40,000 stories. Hardcore Pawn quickly became one of the most watched reality TV shows of its kind. Millions of viewers tuned in, fascinated by the drama unfolding in Detroit. There were outrageous customers, heated arguments, and deals that could make or break a seller's day. But behind the scenes, tension was building. Seth and Ashley had very different approaches to the business, and their disagreements weren't just for TV. They were real. They fought over control, decisions, and who contributed more to the company's success. Les found himself constantly mediating their disputes while trying to keep the shop running smoothly. Then there was Rich. He had been with the store for decades, long before the cameras arrived. Fans of the show quickly grew to love him. His laid-back attitude and witty remarks made him a standout. And soon enough, he was just as well known as the Gold family themselves. That didn't sit well with everyone. There were whispers that Rich was getting too popular, that he was drawing too much attention away from the family. Whether it was a business decision or a personal one, Rich was eventually let go, leaving fans with more questions than answers. Rich's departure was just one of many shakeups at American Jewelry and Loan. There were employees who got suspended, accusations of misconduct, and constant issues with customers who thought they could out-negotiate seasoned pawnbroker. One of the biggest scandals involved a security guard named Joe, a man trusted to protect the store but caught stealing from it instead. It was all caught on camera, making for one of the most shocking moments in the show's history. The family drama didn't end there. Ashley's relationship with a cousin who worked at the shop was full of tension, and her constant battles with Seth made things even more complicated. Seth saw himself as the mastermind behind the business, always pushing for new marketing strategies and expansion opportunities. Ashley, on the other hand, was more focused on the in-store experience and making sure the operation ran smoothly. Their father had to step in more times than he could count to keep things from boiling over. But the biggest conflict of all happened when Seth decided to sell a store location without telling his father. It was a bold move, one that sent shockwaves through the family and nearly fractured their relationship beyond repair. Les was furious when he found out, and for a while it seemed like the business might not survive the internal strife. Somehow they managed to move past it, but the tension never fully disappeared. By 2014, Hardcore Pawn came to an abrupt end. The reasons behind its cancellation were never completely clear. Some speculated that viewership had declined, others believed truTV simply wanted to move away from reality programming, and some even suggested that constant comparisons to Pawn Stars, a more polished show focused on rare and valuable items, had played a role. Unlike Pawn Stars, which showcased million-dollar deals and historic artifacts, Hardcore Pawn, even without the cameras, they continued to make moves, each carving out their own path. But just when things seemed settled, 2023 brought another twist. A rumor spread online that Les Gold had died. The internet ran with it, with social media posts claiming the pawn legend had passed away. It was only when Seth posted a video of his father alive and well that the rumors were finally put to rest. Les took the opportunity to address his fans directly, laughing off the false reports and assuring everyone he was still very much in the game. Just when things seemed settled, new deals and dilemmas proved that, in the pawn business, nothing stays the same. "I'm full of surprises," Les once said. "Take a second look, things can take a turn." Ashley, always the skeptic, once dismissed a set of shiny pieces as cheap costume jewelry, convinced they were worthless. But Les wasn't about to miss a chance at something big. Enter the gem expert, Bob. He ran his tests, checked them out, and made an unexpected discovery. Out of all the shiny pieces, one was the real deal, a Burmese ruby worth $10,000. Just like that, the seller walked out with a life-changing sum. Ashley learned to hold back on instant judgments. Back in the early days of the shop, Les picked up a 1941 Chevrolet for $5,800. At the time, it seemed like a smart investment. Fast forward 3 years, and that classic car was gathering dust, taking up valuable storage space. His kids, Seth and Ashley, had been on his case about getting rid of it. Finally, he caved and decided it was time to sell. And sell he did, for a solid $14,500, more than double what he originally paid. You'd think his kids would finally cut him some slack. "This is a piece of Detroit history," Les said. But that wasn't the case. Some people just loved to complain. Then came one of the strangest purchases ever made at the shop. Les got his hands on something straight out of a horror movie. The van once owned by Dr. Jack Kevorkian, the infamous physician who assisted over 130 people with suicide in the 1990s. This van had a history, and that history was morbid, to say the least. Originally sold to a scrapyard for a measly $150, it somehow found its way back into the spotlight. Les ended up forking over $20,000 for it. If that wasn't bizarre enough, the way he got it was even wilder. He won it on a $20,000 coin flip. But the oddity didn't stop there. The following year, he managed to offload it to Zach Bagans, the ghost hunter, for an estimated $32,000. Not bad for a van with such a dark past. Then there was the time Les went all in on watch bands. He was trying to turn things around after a series of terrible buys, stuff like pool salesman samples and taxidermy that nobody wanted. But then came the chance to sell a rare Breitling watch for $42,000. Instead of getting paid in cash, though, the pawn shop ended up with 130 cases packed full of watch bands. That was 40,000 watch bands sitting there, taking up space. Not exactly the quick payday Les was hoping for. He tried selling them for $2 a piece, hoping to make it worth his while. If everything sold, he would have doubled his money, right? But reality hit hard. In the end, Seth let it slip on social media that they just barely broke even. A painful lesson in how not every deal turns to gold. The biggest deal the shop ever pulled off? That would be the rarest of rare, a 2009 Lee Iacocca Ford Mustang. Only 45 of these beauties were ever made, marking the 45th anniversary of the Mustang itself. When a couple pulled into the lot towing this beast of a car, Les and the gang knew they had to move fast. These things easily sold for $80,000, but Les and Seth worked their magic. hammering the price down to $67,000. Not exactly chump change, but for a car this special, it was a total win. The kind of deal that made all the bad buys almost worth it. Beyond the thrill of the deal, the real story unfolds when the numbers start adding up. A Mercedes, a mansion, and the price of success. Speaking of money, Les's net worth sits at a hefty $5 million. Most of that comes from his pawn business and television fame, but he didn't stop there. In 2013, he wrote a book titled For What It's Worth, Business Wisdom from a Pawnbroker, sharing his strategies and life lessons. People ate it up, and it even climbed to number 4 on the New York Times bestseller list. Like, subscribe and stay tuned for more.